Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Stephanie Janisek, and I just want to say hello and an update. I got into a Twitter debate with Pablo Hidalgo about the new Star Wars trilogy. I don't like it. You all know I don't like it. And he basically, in not so many words, basically said, if you're Gen X, we don't care about you. Now, I wrote a blog about it, and I really, I think offended a lot of people, and I'm glad. My favorite punk rocker, John Lydon, aka Johnny Rotten, said, if you're pissing people off, you're doing something right. And hopefully I'm pissing a lot of people off and stepping on their toes because they deserve it. Now, my problems stem from the fact that I'm a fan that's been there since, 1977. I love the series. I love the characters. I'm not much into Jedis, but I do love the characters. I mean, to me, the characters were what made the story. And the three heroes, Luke, Han, and Leia, in this new trilogy have basically been turned into meaningless saps. Their stories have been crushed. Their heroic arcs have been rendered nothing. I mean, they've basically been turned back into what they were before they went on their epic adventures together in A New Hope. I'm sorry, but I don't buy that those three people who went through traumatic, profound, life-changing events would just go back to who they were when the shit hits the fan again. I'm supposed to sit there and think Han just lets his son go wander off like that. He abandons Leia after everything they've been through together. That Luke just abandons his sister, abandons the galaxy after the Jedi Academy was destroyed by his idiot nephew, and goes wandering around the galaxy like Qui-Chane Caine looking for the first Jedi Temple. If you're a millennial and you don't know who Qui-Chane Caine is, Google David Carradine and Kung Fu, okay? And by the way, the word nihilism means meaninglessness. So you might also want to Google that just to, get up to date and what things actually really mean. But we're all supposed to just buy this, it's all good. It's Star Wars. Look, I have an analogy for what this is turned into. Disney and Lucasfilm could go out, find a big steaming turd pile, film it for 2 hours, stamp Star Wars on one of the turds, and every one of these sheeple that go to these movies would go nuts for it. Go back to their YouTube channels, go back to their blogs, and say it was the greatest movie since Empire, and then try to have big arguments about where it fits in the canon. Meanwhile, those of us who took the red pill are pointing at this turd pile and saying it's a turd pile. All right? So, yeah, you've made a turd pile. You've ripped our guts out, betrayed a whole generation of fans, and you're expecting us to sit on it and like it? No, that's not how it's done. Look, when the first trilogy, when the prequels came out, do you think any of us who went to those movies were like, oh, it's great, it's Star Wars. It doesn't matter if it sucks or not. No! We're the ones going, George, what the hell have you done? I walked out of the Attack of the Clones. I walked out. I thought it was ridiculous, okay? I thought it was stupid. And no one got offended when we were horrified by that. But this new trilogy, we're all supposed to kiss ass and love it. I'm sorry, homie, don't play that game. And don't sit there and try to poo-poo and condescend to the fans that were there when they started making these movies. We are the ones that made these movies as popular as they are, okay? If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be making the trilogy of Star Wars because there wouldn't be a Star Wars. Yet, you're flipping us the bird. Really? You really want to go there? Basically what you've done is you've rendered, like I said, Luke Skywalker's whole story meaningless. You've rendered Han's heroic arc meaningless. you've rendered Leia's heroic arc meaningless. We're all supposed to be happy that, you've basically turned The Force Awakens into daddy hate porn, which is what it is, by the way. And don't even go there with, Kylo Ren really being a good guy and being mistaken. No, he's not. And I know you guys are going to try to say, well, he's going to change back. He butchered his father like a dog. Okay? One of the most popular characters in the entire franchise. And oh, by the way, one of the most iconic characters in movie history. And we're all just supposed to say, poor Kylo. No, FTS, that's not how it works. And if you try to do that, I'm going to call bull fucking shit. Because that's what it is. So, hey, you know what? You screwed us. You screwed every fan that's going to see this, even the ones that say they like it. I expected Star Wars. I got bullshit. I walked out traumatized from The Force Awakens, and then you're sitting there trying to tell me, oh, well, The Last Jedi is going to be so good. It's going to be as good as Empire. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Does Rey have any connection to anybody at all? I've been told she doesn't. All right? And why on earth is someone who doesn't have any connection to Han Solo whatsoever, why does she get the Millennium Falcon? And don't try to poo-poo that. It's the Millennium Falcon isn't some, piece of shit Chevy sitting down the street on blocks. It's a Millennium friggin' Falcon. All right? It's a piece of iconic. It's an icon. It's heritage. You don't just give that ship to some little brat who happens to fly it right. It means something. I know, because the new canon is dogma, and you guys are a bunch of Christian fundamentalists when it comes to that. Yeah, and I went there too as a Catholic. Han and Leia don't have any more than one kid. So that's it? That's it for their relationship? As far as I'm concerned, then Han either should have died in Return of the Jedi, which would have broken my heart, or he should have jumped in a Falcon at the end of the movie, kissed Leia goodbye and said sayonara and left. Because you guys basically really messed that up. But I know you don't care. You're just going to act like a bunch of condescending, money whores for Disney, which is what you are. A bunch of corporate parasites. Instead of, being making Star Wars what it was, which was anti-establishment, in your face, awesomeness, and a piece of hopeful beauty. You've ruined it. You've turned it into a meaningless pile of crap. And I will tell everybody I know that. All right? I am livid with this. And I know there's nowhere to save it because Carrie passed away, God bless her soul. Oh, and trust me, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher all deserved a better script than that tepid, shallow, millennial, pandering piece of crap The Force Awakens was. All right? You guys don't understand. Your audience is bigger than a bunch of self-centered, selfie-taking assholes, which is what you made it for. Okay? You can sit there, drink your Chardonnay, eat your brie cheese, and act like you know everything, but you don't. And you screwed up big time. And I'll tell you that. I will never forgive you for any of this. This is unforgivable. It's a betrayal of the culture on the highest levels. And I'm enraged. I'm angry. If I had been 14 years old and knowing then what I know now, I never would be here talking about this because I wouldn't care. But because I do, now I am, and I'm not going to shut up. Hey, you know what? I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I call a spade a spade. If it's a piece of shit, it's a piece of shit. And I'm not going to like it. I don't have to like shit. Stop making shit. This is Steph. See you around the galaxy. And oh, by the way, the blog I wrote about this is in the comment section. So have fun reading that because it's more in depth. See you around the galaxy.